Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Sembras from Theory11. Deep in the heart of Mexico, off the banks of the Grijalva River, you'll find the mythical settlement of Santa Rosa. And on this ancient site, the Sembras family has been producing some of the world's finest handcrafted spirits since they first opened their doors in 1805. But what's the secret behind those tantalizing blends? Is it the old world techniques, or did their ancestors have some other more magical power that served as the secret ingredient in those sought after concoctions? Well, the latest deck from Theory11 dives into the mystery of the Sembras family. It's a collaboration with Mexican-born artist Abraham Lule, and for this one, the company takes a step away from their ever-popular licensed offerings, decks like Harry Potter and Star Wars, and instead brings us a fully original design, the first major release of its sort since Provision a few years ago. Now, I'm a big fan of Provisions and a number of the other original designs that Theory11's put out, so very excited to see what they bring with Sembras, and I love there's a little bit of lore to go behind the deck. So excited to check this one out. Let's get right into it. And it all starts off with the tuck box. It's always a highlight of Theory11 decks. This one, no exception. It's produced, I believe, by Studio on Fire, who does most of the tuck boxes for Theory11, and their work is impeccable. It's done on an ivory colored stock here with a mixture of that bright yellow ink with a little bit of black, and then the hits of gold foil and the embossing on this one that give it that luxury feel. Great artwork on it and a great color combination that kind of lends itself to those ancient mysteries that the deck hints at. Love the image of the Aztec temple there in the background. The beautiful bordering on this one, and that gold foil just perfectly accents everything. You get extra little details like the 4 coins in the corner, those ancient coins, and the name of the deck done in a really cool font in the middle there, Sembras, underlined with a kind of a curled snake there. Down at the bottom, you get in Spanish, Cartas y naipes. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's just playing cards. And then down at the bottom, a little nod to the Sembras family and their ancient remedies. Beautiful looking tuck box. That color combination continues on the side. You get the premium quality with a couple more coins there. On the other side, produced by Theory11. And then the bottom in gold foil there has the ad copy for Theory11. Mentions these are made in the USA. Top, a little bit more accenting and colors there. A couple more little coins. And the back, you get a foiled and embossed version of the back design of the cards. We'll look more at those details in a second. But overall, great feeling tuck box. Finished out with the metallic seal here. This is the Sembras family crest that makes its way as the seal itself. And as you open it up, you get a little bit more copy in here for Theory11, but I love that it's done in this sort of handwritten style on the inner flap. Kind of a cool little touch. But it mentions this is inspired by the mythical Book of Sembras. Nothing on the smaller inner flaps, but you do get some nice interior printing, all done in gold foil. This kind of wallpaper pattern with the S's there for Sembras and the gold spots all the way down the center. I gotta say, this looks a little bit more of a modern style design compared to the outside of the tuck box. Kind of wish that this had maybe a little bit more thematically matched with the outer part of the tuck box, which is a lot more intricate and detailed. But still cool to have some interior foiling on the tuck box. So there's the tuck box. Great colors on this one, really unique look to it, and beautifully executed overall. But let's check out the cards. And here's the card back design. Done in kind of a mixture of kind of yellowish orange colors with bits of gold metallics on this one. It's a very classic shape design here. The beautiful borders around the edge, and then lots of detailing in the center. You get the images of ancient Mexican gods or goddesses in the little panels here, and then more of those coins that are sprinkled all the way around. Wonder if those coins play a part in the lore overall. Gotta say, Theory11 sometimes gets a little bit of flack for their back designs feeling flat, especially after you compare them to those really impressive tuck boxes. And I'll say this one's kind of in the middle. I think the design looks a little bit pale in color when you get it in hand, but still beautiful, and some nice variation in the color as well with the metallics and then those orangish golds. So you still have some depth to this one. It's not flat like you see with some of the others, but definitely doesn't quite live up to how beautiful the colors are on the tuck box. But overall, nice back design, finishes out with that thin poker border on the edges. All right, then we turn to the cards themselves. We start with the jokers, and the jokers here have this kind of mysterious image on there. You see two guys on either side with a spade in hand, and then this totem in the center. This totem represents the Sembras family totem. It's the key to the location of the mysterious remedios, which is said to be the recipe book for the elixirs that are then infused in every bottle of their famous spirits. So cool little part of the lore there, commemorated on the joker with that mysterious totem in the middle. And the two jokers are, of course, identical. So here's your two jokers. You get a pair of ad cards that are very, very similar. They both feature that temple in the background, same one that we saw on the tuck box. One of them with the more ornate border, and then one of them with a larger temple and no border. But just some nods for Theory11 there at the bottom. You know, I wish that Theory11 didn't include all the ad cards in there. I don't have much use for them, but it's not a bad design overall as ad cards go. I guess you could use those as extra jokers. All right, now into the main deck, and we start off with the aces. All four aces are fully custom, feature large pips, starting with the ace of spades here, and you get the image of, you know, this is maybe one of the workers at the family distillery. You can see him there with the casks in hand. Beautifully kind of bows out to form that classic spade shape, and then labeled at the top as the ace of spades. Artwork on this one, Abraham Luled, like I said, did all the artwork on this one, and definitely seems to take a lot of inspiration from Diego Rivera. Diego was one of the most famous Mexican painters out there, and he did a lot of these sorts of paintings that featured a worker or a flower seller or something like that in this sort of position. So very classic form. You know, my mom actually has a print of one of Diego Rivera's more famous paintings called Vendora de Flores up on her wall. So one that I've seen many, many times. And that same form kind of continued as you go to the other aces. So here's one of an old woman with agave leaves, I guess those would be, poking out of her basket there on her back. Here's one with beautiful agave flowers that she's carrying on her back. That one definitely calls to mind Diego Rivera again. And then here's one with a basket on her head, you know, more of the products that would then be used and distilled down for the spirits. Beautiful kind of folk art style. The Pippin Index in the corner have a little bit of a slightly handwritten or hand-stamped look to them. And the pips as well have kind of a, I don't know, slightly imperfect quality that I really like. But small Pippin Index and beautifully illustrated aces there. Number cards, relatively standard. They do feature slightly custom shaped pips. And like I said before, you know, the kind of slight imperfections on them that I think really kind of give it a little bit of charm and kind of more atmospheric quality to them. The reds have a little bit more orange to the red, so not your classic deep crimson. And then the classic black on the black card. So there's your diamonds. There's into your clubs. That's probably the most custom looking of the pip shapes. And then into the hearts. So no other embellishments on the number cards. So definitely just meant to be a classic feeling deck that you could use for gameplay. And then we get into the court cards, and all the court cards are two-way court. So in some ways that classical form, but again, bringing in those beautiful folk art styles that you see from artists like Diego Rivera to give you really unique set of characters. And these are kind of a cast of characters that maybe you could imagine were, you know, workers or townspeople around the Sembras family settlement where they were producing all of those famous spirits. And so all of them, you'll see things like the plants that maybe they would distill down. Some of them have, you know, cups maybe in their hand, or even magical totems or wands that were perhaps used as part of that mysterious process. Love the artwork on this one. The folk art style really comes to life. And despite a fairly simple color palette, you just have the reds and the browns in here, really has a lot of life to the cards overall, and some unique poses like this one over here that almost looks a little bit more 1920s style. This is one of my favorites. I love the red and white striped poncho there. But beautiful look to the cards overall, and each one definitely has a unique feel to them as you go from one card to the next. I could have done with a few of them, like this one being a little bit larger to get a, you know, bigger, more larger than life feel to the artwork, but can't complain too much. I love a fully custom set of quartz. I love that they went away from the more classic quartz to bring some unique artwork to the deck. And that is it. That is the Sembras deck. It's a beautiful feeling deck. The stock here, I believe these are printed by USBCC. I could be wrong on that one. They don't specify exactly who the printer is, but they do say it's made in the USA. They are done on a really thin crushed stock, and they handle really nicely, which, that is something that you could say of USBCC decks. So no complaints on the handling whatsoever. This would definitely be a great deck to kind of give a little bit of extra flavor to your next game night or something like that. Definitely a good deck for use for gameplay. But that is it. That is the look at Sembras. Definitely a unique feeling deck, and love that they brought a unique original design. This one probably won't sell as well as some of their other licensed decks. I'm sure they sold 1 million of those Harry Potter decks out there. Great deck in its own right. But I love that they're still going back to their roots and bringing us some more original designs like Sembras. So kudos to Theory11 on this one. Hope they have more of these in the future. But anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.